Hello students, welcome to BioWise with Aanchal. Now this time I have the next chapter for standard 8 chemistry, that is physical change and chemical change. I know this is a very easy chapter and you have already studied this chapter in standard 7, so we'll go really fast so that you just revise the concepts and understand the basic questions which could be asked in the examination. Children, please see the video till the end. There are questions popping in between, as well as there will be a self-assessment test at the end of the presentation. So let's begin with the physical and the chemical change. Now in this chapter, we'll be studying about the change. What is the definition of change? Then what are the classification of changes? Physical change, chemical change, examples of various kinds of changes and their comparison. Without wasting time, let us move to the topic. Now, what is change? Now, change is the thing in the world or in the universe, you can say, which is constant. The only thing which is constant is the change. Law of nature, which occurs in everyday life, that is the law which says that there must be a change that is happening, right? A substance undergoes a kind of change when subjected to energy change. Energy is added to the matter or removed from the matter, right? So anyway the energy is added or removed, it is said a change occurs in matter or around us. Now there is a picture showing an opening of a flower. It is also a kind of change, a growth, right? So let us understand what is the classification. So the classification of changes of various types depending upon the process that is happening. Like you have reversible and the irreversible changes, which means what is reversible change? Reversible change is a change which can be reversed by the change in conditions. For example, melting of ice, you can again make ice water, so it's a reversible change. What is the irreversible change? Which cannot be reversed, right? For example, burning of magnesium, burning of paper. You cannot reverse back the reactions or the processes. So that is the irreversible change. Even changes like cutting of paper, chopping of fruits or vegetables can be considered as irreversible, right? Then what is a slow change and a fast change? Slow change and fast change. What is slow? Which occurs very slowly, maybe over days or years, like a seed growing into a tree or a baby growing into an adult, can be considered as slow change. Fast change, that occurs rapidly in seconds, that is in fraction of seconds the reaction will happen or the process will happen, like you can say occurrence of lightning, bursting of crackers. These are the examples of fast changes, correct? Now what is periodic change? Periodic, as you know, that is which should happen after a regular period of time or regular intervals. For example, change of seasons, day and night. These are all periodic changes. Non-periodic changes that may happen, that will not occur in regular intervals. Earthquake, tsunami, flood, or even change of weather, you can say. I'm not saying climate here, I'm saying change of weather. In Pune and all, you'll realize that the change of weather happens in a daytime. Morning you have a different weather, afternoon you have really different weather, and evening maybe it may rain. So that's a non-periodic change. What is a kind of weather condition in your city or in your place? You can just put it in the comment section. Desirable and undesirable changes. Desirable changes which you like and which you want it to happen, right? Desirable change is something that you want to happen, which produces useful results and are brought by man or nature. For example, ripening of fruit is a desirable change, correct? The fruit has ripened so that you can eat is a desirable change. Similarly, rotting of a fruit, if you say, it's an undesirable change. Making of a curd is a desirable change, but souring of a milk is an undesirable change. I hope you can make the difference between these changes. Then artificial, natural, which happens by man-made changes are artificial, and naturally whatever change happens in and around us is a natural change. and the most important that we are going to study in the entire chapter is the physical and the chemical change, which I will cover in the next slides. So what is a physical change? What are you observing here? Write down in the comment section what do you observe in this picture. What is happening? Where is that white material which is there on the in the picture disappearing? Okay, so write down in the comment section what you observe. Now, a change in which the substance retain its identity and changes in the form or state without altering in chemical composition. Now, if I say that there is no change in the chemical composition, means if suppose water becomes vapor. So there is a question for you. What is the chemical formula for ice, water and steam? Is it okay? Have you understood the question? What is the chemical formula of ice, water and steam? Next one is what are the characteristics of physical change? Now this diagram is very clear to you. I've shown this diagram in the previous chapter also, that is matter. What is happening? Interconversion of state of matter is seen, solid, liquid and gas. The intermolecular space increases and you can see how solid can be converted into liquid and liquid can be converted into gas. Right, so it's a temporary change first of all. Then it's easily reversible. By changing the condition of temperature and pressure, you can easily reverse the process with no new substances formed. Children, this is very, very, very important. Whenever you are classifying anything as a physical or a chemical change, you must know that whether a new substance is formed or not formed. If there is no new substance formed, then it is a physical change. Okay. And the composition and the property of the original substance is not altered. Right? If I take a paper and I cut it into the pieces, that means what? The paper is paper only. Even if it is many pieces, it is a paper. If you cut a carrot salad, then even if you cut the carrot into small pieces, it remains carrot only. Unless you cook it, there will be no chemical change taking place. So cutting off a carrot, cutting off in wood, tearing off the paper, these are all very good examples of physical change. Right? Then chemical change, I am just showing in the picture what is happening. The wood is burning, right? So any kind of change where you you see that the object is losing its identity. Here the wood will burn into ashes, right? There will be nothing left, and at the same time carbon dioxide, water vapor and some other gases can be produced. One or more new substances are produced. This process in which a new substance is formed is defined as a chemical change. Is it clear? Now a chemical change, if you have to classify the chemical change, it is a permanent change. It's not easily reversible with a new substance formed. You understand, here a new substance is formed and the composition and the properties of the original substance is altered. I'll give you a very good example here. Like for example, if I take hydrogen and oxygen and when you observe a reaction between them, you'll realize the two molecules of hydrogen combines with one molecule of oxygen to form two molecules of water. Now when you say hydrogen gas is a inflammable gas, right? Hydrogen, you know that it's an inflammable gas. This gas burns with a pop sound. When we do the chemical preparation of the gas or chemical test for the gas, this gas burns with a pop sound. It's a highly inflammable gas. At the same time, when you talk about oxygen, oxygen is also a supporter of combustion, correct? So hydrogen gas, you can say it's a gas which burns itself, and oxygen supports combustion. Now when these two react, then what is formed? Water. Water is used to extinguish fire. So the entire property of hydrogen and oxygen is changed. The entire original substance, the two gases which were combustible and were helping in combustion, have changed their identity and totally a new substance, that is water, is formed. Is that clear? So this is a chemical change. A completely new substance is formed and the original property of the substances which are participating in the reaction, that is lost. The reactants which react in the process and the products which are formed in the process. So the properties of the reactants are totally different from the properties of the product. This is chemical reaction. Now you must be seeing the flames on the screen. These are the various color of flames, just to show you the fire and the burning processes where these metals give this specific colors of flames. We do the flame test little later in our studies. Now there are two processes which I am showing you on the screen. The first one is the ice melting and the second one is the burning of the magnesium ribbon. Now this one is the first one and this one is the second one. You have to classify them as physical change or chemical change. Which one is a physical change and which one is a chemical change? Just write down in the comment section 1 hyphen physical or chemical change, 2 hyphen physical or chemical change. Let me see how many of you have understood what is physical and what is chemical change, right? Now here in the below diagram also you can see what is happening to the ice. Ice is turning to water. And same way, when magnesium is burnt in oxygen, you have a white dazzling flame that you observe. Can you see here the white dazzling flame? Again it will be there. Yeah, see, this is the white dazzling flame that is produced and a white powder is produced which is magnesium oxide. Okay, and the ribbon, the magnesium, the metal will lose its identity. It will become powdery, white powder after this reaction. So now you tell me which one is the physical change and which one is the chemical change. Answer in the comment section. Participate so that you remain attentive for the entire video. And any doubt, children, put it in the comment section. If you have not subscribed the channel, kindly subscribe it to be updated. Now melting of ice, which you saw in the first go. Now you tell me, is the change temporary or permanent? Right? Is the change temporary? Yes. Why yes? Because ice can be made water and water can again be freezed into ice. Is the change reversible? Yes. The change is reversible. Is any new substance formed in melting of ice? Ice is forming water. Okay. The molecules will remain what? H2O. So is any new substance formed? No. Has the composition and the properties of the substance changed? No. The composition has also not changed and the properties has also not changed. It is just the change of state of matter. Is that clear? So melting of ice is a physical change. Correct? Next one is burning of magnesium. Now is burning of magnesium is a temporary change? Yes. Or is a permanent change? It's not a temporary change. It's a permanent change. Is the change reversible? No. The change is irreversible. Is any new substance formed? Yes. Earlier it was magnesium. After burning, magnesium oxide was formed. Correct? So a new substance is formed. Has the composition and the properties of the substance changed? Yes. It was a metal earlier, which is magnesium, the grey color strip that you have seen, which changes to a compound magnesium oxide, which is a white powder, right? So obviously the property of the metal has changed. Correct? Next, what we'll see, the physical change examples. Here again I have put the melting of ice. The melting is a physical change, vaporization, condensation, freezing, sublimation, magnetization. All these topics we have understood in the last chapter, right? So all these are the physical changes because these all are the change of state of matter. State of matter, right? State of matter is changing, interconversion of state of matter. Similarly, what are the examples of the chemical change? Here one example you can see, there is a transparent liquid which is silver nitrate. NaCl is added to it. A white precipitate is formed. The entire composition will change. Now sodium chloride and silver nitrate, when they react, silver chloride is formed. And you can see the change in property, it is a precipitate, white color precipitate is formed, right? So what are the examples of chemical change in our daily life? Fermentation, dehydration, respiration, burning, curdling of milk, ripening of fruit, carbon cycle. All these things are the examples of the chemical change. Any doubt? Rotting of eggs or even rotting of fruits, vegetables, all are the examples of chemical change. Always remember, in chemical energy there is either heat absorbed or released. If heat is absorbed, if the heat is absorbed, the reaction or the change is endothermic. That is, the heat is absorbed, right? And if heat is released, it is exothermic. Endothermic and exothermic, you should know the difference. Is that clear? Put it in the comment section if you have not understood. So what is the difference between a physical change and a chemical change? I have just stick the pictures on both the sides to classify them as physical and chemical change. A physical change is a temporary change in which no new substance is formed and chemical composition of the original substance remains same. This is very important. The property does not change, right? Due to this change, there may be change in the physical properties. Physical properties means how it looks. The color may change, the shape, size or state may change. It is a reversible change, making of toy from the clay, forming a ball out of an aluminium foil, melting of ice. All these are the very good examples of a physical change. Shredding of paper, crushing of can, or interconversion of state of matter, dissolving sugar in water, right? Magnetization. All these are the examples of physical change. What is a chemical change? A chemical change is a permanent change in which new substance is formed and whose chemical property is completely different from that of the original substances. Now the physical change and that is physical change where you observe that the chemical properties are not changing, but in case of chemical change you'll realize the physical as well as the chemical properties of the substance both changes, right? They both changes. They're entirely different. As I have given you the example of water formation, they are irreversible changes. Yes, in certain chemical reactions you do find reversible changes, but under the same conditions and all, the reaction cannot be reversed. So you have to differentiate, you have to change the conditions for the reactions to reverse the chemical reactions. Burning of an incense stick, matchstick, rusting of iron, rotting of fruit, right? Then here you can see that cooking, baking is going on. Here the growth of the plant. Then here digestion is going on. Making of an omelette, right? Rusting of iron. So all these things are very good examples of chemical change. Any doubt, children? Put it in the comment section. Thank you so much for your attention. Kindly put your doubts in the comment section. You can also give me topic which you want an explanation on so that I can make a video on it. Happy learning, students.